Clayton this time goes wide to the right. Vince Heflin, number 88 in the game for the Dolphins. He's set to the left side. They operate from midfield. Rushes on, and Marino really had to hurry. Coming in there was Art Still. Woody Bennett, the intended receiver, but Marino really had to rush it.
You saw an illustration there of why Dan Marino isn't sacked very often. One, he has a fine offensive line. That's true. But secondly, he gets rid of the ball very quickly. Look at that score, Jay.
And the final 20-0. Philadelphia upsets the Redskins 19-6.
Our hometown almost.
I'll tell you. New England and Buffalo had a close one. The Patriots won it. Indianapolis beats Detroit. And the first win for Rod Dowhauer.
Pete Axtell picked that game.
He's on a roll these days. On second down, Marino with a lot more time throws a beauty. First down at the 37-yard line, Nat Moore. And on this warm afternoon, they love it here. Kevin Ross had the coverage, number 31, a 13-yard pickup on the play.
Watch Nat Moore, the technician. I love to watch these old receivers work. Watch him pressure the defensive back. Now come away from the ball. Good execution, Nat Moore.
I guess 34 is kind of old in this game. You're sitting up here now. This one is too high, intended for Clayton. A catchable ball maybe, but a very tough catch because it was so high. Coverage back there by Albert Lewis, number 29. Marino has thrown 2 touchdown passes. There's Don Shula, 55-year-old native of Painesville, Ohio. Marino's been intercepted twice over the first 2 games. Marino 3 for 5 this afternoon, 36 yards. Last season, in his first 2 games, he totaled 2 interceptions, but also had thrown 7 touchdown passes. Second down and 10. Hampton still going. Almost broke it outside. Got down to the 33-yard line and is a little upset with himself. An explosive runner who's also a good receiver from Lake Wales, Florida. Coverage by Albert Lewis, number 29.
This number 1 draft choice was one of the most explosive runners in the draft last year. Watch him now. He's 5'11", 210 pounds. He breaks a couple of tackles. Now he has the speed to get on the outside that Tony Nathan does not have.
Third down and 4. Joe Rose, number 80 in the game. Clayton, 83. Heflin, 88 in there. Moore coming in motion, and the throw over the middle. Complete down to the 29-yard line to Moore. He was hit immediately by Otis McKinney, number 21. And let's see if they were able to get the first down. It's going to be very close. I don't think they did. Not where they spotted it.
Just shy.
Moore's a little upset with himself. And there's Don Shula talking it over. Don, who went to John Carroll in Cleveland, a defensive back with the Browns and with Baltimore and with Washington. One of the outstanding coaches in the history of the National Football League.
They bring in Ron Davenport in this situation, Jay. Number 30, second-round draft choice. They're very high on him. He is a big, strong blocker.
And a fine athlete. In motion, Hardy, right up the middle. It goes to Nathan. First down. Shula called the right number. Davenport with a fine block to lead him.
He sure did. He cleaned that hole out for the runner.
Marino was 29 of 48 for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns in the victory last week. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. First quarter, no score here in the Orange Bowl. First down.
When they take that much time in the huddle, Jay, you can almost be assured that they're going to throw the football.
Marino with time and throws, and a little too high. Mark Clayton, number 83, the intended receiver. Deron Cherry, number 20, had the coverage. Penalty marker is down. Clayton trying to come back to that ball. It'll go against Kansas City. The referee today is Tom Dooley. The umpire, Dave Hamilton. Head linesman, Ed Marion.
Illegal use of hands. 63, defense. First down.
The call goes against Bill Moss. Vern Marshall, Bob Moore, Gary Lane, and Bob Lewis complete the crew here today. Final San Diego over Cincinnati. 85 points scored in that game. Woo.
Cincinnati 0-3 now. Tough start for them.
Marino looking it over. First down. Like I said, at the 27, I meant at the 22, and the give goes to Bennett. Bennett is across the 20, and he is down to the 17-yard line. Albert Lewis, number 29, the cornerback, made the tackle. Bennett, very dependable performer, and the only one of the backs on this Dolphin team that can bench press 400 pounds.
What's that Don Shula told us yesterday? Woody is an outstanding blocker, and he would like to carry the ball more, and I'm going to try to give him a chance to carry the ball more.
San Francisco leading the Raiders. First quarter 7-0. No score here, but the Dolphins knocking on the door. Second down and 7 from the 18. And penalty markers are down. It looked like Art Still jumped off. The pass completed to the tight end Hardy, and we'll let referee Tom Dooley unravel it for us. There's Still out of the University of Kentucky, coming off a wonderful game a week ago last Thursday.
Encroachment, 67 defense. Contact before the play. Second down.
Contact by Still, encroachment. And they'll march off 5.
This is the first meeting between Art Still and Cleveland Green, the offensive tackle of the Miami Dolphins. And Green said, I may not know anything about him, but yet he doesn't know anything about me either. So, you know, it's probably a standoff. That should be an interesting battle on that right side.
42-year-old John Makovic there from Barberton, Ohio. Two Ohio-born coaches going at one another this afternoon. Second down, 1. And Marino's going to throw. And it is incomplete. It was intended for Clayton, and Clayton had his hands full over there with Kevin Ross.
Incomplete, third and
Ross, number 31. Marino, 58.3% completions in 85. You see the 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jets are on top of Green Bay. That game being played in Milwaukee today. We have 4 minutes and 47 seconds left to play in the first quarter here in the Orange Bowl. Third down and 1. Hardy comes in motion, and banging through for the first down is Davenport. We mentioned Davenport a moment ago. This young man was born in Bermuda, played at Louisville, 6th round pick, averaging 5.2 per carry. Ball just shy of the 10-yard line. Nat Moore coming back into the lineup. Davenport walking off. The Giants upsetting the Cardinals at the Meadowlands today. First loss for St. Louis. Clayton comes in motion, and nothing there for Tony Nathan. Bill Moss, the nose man, number 63, moved right in there to make the play. New Orleans wins over Tampa Bay 20-13. No score here late in the first quarter. Nathan has carried the ball 4 times for 16 yards. Ground level look at what is a very warm floor here. Good thing we have natural surface here now instead of the artificial turf, because it would really be boiling down there. Second down. Good protection for Marino over the middle. Bennett at the 5-yard line. Gary Spaney, number 59, made the play. Spaney, who played at Kansas State, all Big 8. Had a bruised knee this week, Reggie, and hardly practiced, but they said he was feeling much better today.
And they need Spaney in the defensive structure because he's a veteran back there. He recognizes the offensive formations, and he's the leader on the Kansas City defense.
At the 5, third down. They could get the first down at the 4, or with 4 at the 1. And out of the shotgun, they hand it off to Hampton. Fumble. The Chiefs say they've got it, and they do. It was Calvin Daniels, the linebacker, number 50. So Miami drives all the way down the field and cough it up. .236 left to play, first quarter, still no score.
Okay.
Very impressive drive till they did that, huh?
Yeah.
Take a look at it, Red.
Yeah, because I believe it's the, are you going to stay on Steele? All right.
That's 20.
Yeah, I'd rather.
Ron Cherry.
Let's see that where the hit is made again. Watch the running. He has his back to the defense. Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Okay. Who makes that hit on him?
Cherry.
Okay. Watch the effort here by Hampton. Goes for naught.
Big hit by Cherry to get that ball loose, and Kansas City down deep in their own territory, and Hurd can't turn it upfield. Good play by Sanders Shiver, the linebacker, number 96. Baseball. Some tremendous races coming up. Mets and the Pirates this coming Saturday. Cardinals and the Expos. Update the scores today. Pittsburgh in the 6th leads the Mets. Cardinals, Montreal are all tied up. New York is winning. Kansas City is losing. California is losing. Toronto's losing. Boys, there's some races going in the National and American Leagues. Herman Hurd got the call again. He banged out to about the 12-yard line. Robin Sinline, number 52, made the play with number 50, Jackie Shipp.
Shula is looking for improved play from his middle linebackers this year, and that's partly because of Jackie Shipp, the #1 draft choice from a year ago, has taken over that inside backer position. He is an outstanding athlete. In addition to Mark Brown, they give the Dolphins more strength against the run inside.
Never on Sunday in September for Shula. 16 yards for Hurd on 4 carries. 3rd down and 4. Kinney overthrows his intended receiver, Bruce King. And Jim Arnold will be called on to punt from deep in his own territory.
Purely the circumstances of the weather conditions here. It is so hot, it is so humid that Bill Kinney's hands were wringing with water, and as he tried to throw that pass, it just simply got away from him.
Minute and 42 left to go, first quarter. Jim Arnold, last year's top punter. A relatively short kick. Lockett at midfield. Lockett inside the 45. Stop made by Jonathan Hayes, number 85. 40-yard punt, 6-yard return. We'll be back with more from the Orange Bowl in a moment.
Indianapolis 14, Detroit 6. New England 17, Buffalo 14. Philadelphia 19, Washington 6. Pittsburgh 20, Houston nothing. Dallas,
Steve,
Cleveland 7.
you want to ISO on Green and Still or Bell and Giesler? Okay, good.
It's a great shot. You going to leave that up?
San Diego 41, Cincinnati 41.
Okay.
Warriors 20, Tampa Bay 6. Taking after the challenge, 51. After the challenge winners are Sears Medical Center, Florida Power by General Officer, Wood. Congratulations and thank you. The Miami Dolphins and Jay Lions congratulate this week's NASCAR winner, John Silva. Page number 5568. Please call your answering service. Doctor's page number 5568. Please call your answering service.
I think that picture gives you some indication of the weather conditions. You can see the heat coming off the street here.
It's as hot as a Mexican jail cell.
All right. And we're ready for action. Marino is 5 out of 8, 44 yards. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Handoff going to Nathan, and a very fine play by Lloyd Burris, the strong safety number 34, who came up to stop Tony.
Dolphins are going without a huddle, Jay. That's unusual.
No huddle. 2nd down and 9. Number 74, Pete Koch, the second-year man, jumped off. Now, was he pulled off?
29 offense, 2nd down.
He was pulled off. Koch pulled off by John Giesler. We mentioned Pete Koch in the game, second-year man from the University of Maryland.
Jay, if you notice, the Kansas City Chiefs have already gone to their 4-man line.
Right, we expect to see a lot of that today. 2nd down and 14. That's Tony Nathan down to the 42-yard line. Stop made by Calvin Daniels, the left outside linebacker, number 50.
On the tackle, Calvin Daniels.
Now, when you go to 4 defensive linemen, then there's only 1 linebacker in the middle. That's why Nathan is able to get right up the middle of that line and gain some real positive yardage.
Heflin 88 and Clayton 83 and Moore 89 are in there now with Joe Rose, the tight end, number 80, and they operate from the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. Penalty markers are down. Throw down the middle and incomplete. Joe Rose had it on the dead run, couldn't hold on. Neron Cherry, number 20, on the coverage.
Joe Rose has been suffering all week long with a pulled groin muscle. I'm not apologizing for him for not making that catch, but that was a very smart play by Marino. When you get the defense offside, look for the touchdown throw. Throw the ball deep because you have a free play.
His cadence has bothered the Kansas City front line a bit.
Offsides, 88 offense. Offsides, 67 defense. Penalties offset, 3rd down.
So we'll do it again. Tom Dooley and his crew that assigned here by the National Football League. Ball at the 42-yard line of the Kansas City club with just 2 seconds remaining to be played in this first quarter.
I'd look for the Dolphins here, Jay, to utilize some kind of picking action and run some type of underneath pattern where they're screening for each other.
On third down, Marino again out of the shotgun. Clayton coming toward the formation. Lots of time. Here is Rose. He couldn't hold on. Oh, my. Lloyd Burris, the strong safety, was back there, but Rose had an opportunity for a big catch.
Now, Marino had the short pattern for a first down, but instead he goes to Joe Rose. Some coaches won't allow a player to play on Sunday if he has not played all week. It hurts his timing. Now, Joe Rose has not practiced all week. The pass is clearly right there. He drops it.
We'll be back with the second quarter in just a moment. Oh, boy. Huh?
I thought sure he'd take the first down. He had Clayton right there. But
yeah,
the guy was wide open.
He had a touchdown.
Yep, the guy was wide open.
Show that picture of Strock there. Show the picture of Strock with his jersey on.
You gotta hold that coming back.
Yeah.
Out. You want to take it?
Yeah.
All right.
And Reggie Rucker here. We've been telling you how warm it is, but Don Strock, a backup quarterback, 10-year veteran, he got his jacket on. Now, the reason he wears that jacket is because he flashes in the signals, and it's easier for Marino to find him on the sideline with a jacket on. So he takes the heat today. Cherry and Lane are back to receive the punt from Reggie Roby. Last week against the Colts, he only punted once. That one was for 60 yards. We talked about the kickers at the top of the show. This is an offensive weapon right here. This guy can really boom them. And the ball bounds back and is down at the 16-yard line. So Kansas City will put it in play here in the first minute of the second quarter. Just a 25-yard punt. We'll be back with more from the Orange Bowl in Miami right after this.
Okay.
All right.
Steve, can you pick up any secondary coverages? Okay. Takeaway giveaways, Dolphins -1, Chief +1.
That's right. How you feel? All right?
Yeah.
Good.
A little. Just
a little. We got a little teeny breeze up here. Not too bad.
I think with the way Marino was throwing the football, that's one of the reasons why they went to 4 men so quickly. Helped get some relief in there. Carlos Garza. Okay. You're looking at Carlos Carson, the All-Pro. Had a big game against the Raiders because of the man-to-man coverage. Against the Dolphins, he will see more zone defenses.
Good field position. The best of the game for Kansas City as Herman Hurd moves out over the 23 to the 24-yard line. A final Denver 44, Atlanta 28. A lot of points being scored today. Jackie Shipp, number 50, made the stop on Hurd a moment ago.
Kansas City fans might be wondering, well, where is the offense to Carson? I'll reiterate, it's difficult for a receiver to pick up zones, and that's what he's seeing a lot of against the Miami Dolphins.
2nd down and 3. I formation. And a big play is made by Doug Betters. Herman Hurd hit by Betters behind the line. Doug, who played at Nevada Reno, voted the defensive lineman of the year by the media in Southern Florida. 6th-round draft pick in a big play.
6 feet 7 inches tall, 265 pounds. He's going against David Lutz, who's had a terrific season so far, the right tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs. That should be an interesting battle.
I mentioned that Kansas City had its best field position, the 27-yard line, to start this drive, but it's now 3rd down and 7. Kinney goes to the far sideline. It is complete. The 36-yard line. Henry Marshall makes the catch. It's his 4th of the season. Henry, who played at Missouri, 34 career touchdowns, caught 62 passes last season.
Here we see the maturing of Bill Kinney. Not only does he have a great arm, but he's very smart, because right here he picks out the man that's man-to-man in the zone, who is Henry Marshall, who runs down far enough to get the 1st down. Good play by Kinney to Marshall.
Swain there to make the play, number 29. Good job by Rush and Buddy and Olderman and Lutz and Herkenhoff. This offensive line protecting Kinney very well. And this one is broken up.
I don't agree with that.
A penalty flag is thrown. The pass intended for Carlos Carson. He is injured. And the play made by Judson, number 49, and the flag was thrown at midfield.
Carlos Carson writhing in pain on the ground at about the 35-yard line, but I do not agree with this call by the officials, and I'll tell you why in a moment.
Show it to you. Carson is injured, and Don Shula is really hot.
Now the defender can go through the man who is going for the ball if, in fact, he is making a play on the ball. Now watch him. He is making a play on the ball. He almost has his hand on the ball before he hits the receiver. That is a poor call by the officials.
Another view of it. We look at the secondary.
Judson has excellent position and fine coverage. I can understand why Shula is livid.
Judson out of South Carolina State. 8th-round draft pick in '81. Has an interception and a 61-yard touchdown this year. Carson up. His left leg apparently the problem. Dave Kendall and Bud Epps, the trainers. There's young John McAbee, quarterback coach at Dallas in '81 and '82. 3rd season at Kansas City. Carson going off. Dallas a final 20-7. Pittsburgh winning today, shutting out that Houston club. Giants with a big win by 10 over the Cardinals. 44-28. Denver really turned up the afterburner late in that one. Philadelphia 19-6 over Washington. 44-41. They're putting some points on the board this Sunday around the NFL. Buffalo lost to New England by 3. New Orleans a winner over Tampa Bay. Indianapolis gets its first victory.
That's a devastating loss for the Chiefs, having Carlos Carson out of the lineup.
It's 1st down. Ethan Horton, number 32 in the game, in the I formation, and that is Ethan Horton at the 50. Guts it outside. Got down to the 44-yard line. Good block by Bruce King, the rookie running back, in front of him. Jackie Shipp, number 50, on the stop as they work on Carson on the far side. He's the big play man. We talked about him at the top of the show. They need him in the chemistry.
They sure do. It's not like the Dolphins, who lost Duper but still have Clayton. Now, the Chiefs don't have another home run threat that's as effective as Carson.
Carson with 17 career touchdowns. On second down, Kinney goes down. Sanders Shiver, number 96, is in under the pile. Mike Charles, number 71, congratulating him.
Now, with Carlos Carson out of the offense, the Dolphins' defensive scheme just changed. They know now that there's not that real threat. Watch the coverage here. The guys downfield are doing a super job of covering. That allows the people up front to get to Kinney.
Sanders Shiver making the big play. Ball right at midfield, third down, 10. Stephon Page wide to the right. Hancock and Marshall, the other wide receivers. Kinney throws, and it is complete at the 30-yard line.
Oh, wow.
What a catch by Henry Marshall, a 19-yard pickup. And here comes Shula to argue again along with Strock. John Mackovic, a man who has instilled a lot of confidence and belief in his Kansas City Chiefs.
Shula isn't going to get this call, but somewhere down the line, Shula is going to get a call in his favor. Watch this now.
I thought it was going to be intercepted right there.
Ball is almost intercepted, just over the outstretched hands of Judson. And there's 1 foot in bounds, 1 knee in bounds, the other one is out of bounds.
First down, Kansas City. Kinney throwing for the touchdown, and incomplete. Stephon Page going up with Paul Langford. Page couldn't hold on. You see Kinney looking at his hands there. It's got to be terribly tough, as warm as it is here, to keep the perspiration off those hands. You see him wadding up that towel there. It's a tough go for a quarterback, or not, for that matter, a receiver.
Here's the play again. This is Henry Marshall doing an out pattern. Now, the ball is overthrown there to Judson. Marshall has 1 foot in, and the other knee is out of bounds.
Second down for the Chiefs. They're at the 30-yard line of the Dolphins. Handoff goes to E.J. Jones, who's just come into the ball game. Jones, number 48, picks up 7. And he was picked up, of course, when Ken Lacey was cut. And it's the second year that he has been cut and brought back, given another try.
Jay, there's been a lot of talk this week about the use of the instant replay to decide very, very thin calls like that. And I think this is going to be an example of this particular game. We've had 2 calls already that would bode well for that play.
Herman Hurd to the right side, cuts it in at the 15, down to the 11-yard line. Hurd running hard, knocked out of bounds by Bud Brown, number 43. I noticed there was a comment this week that the National Football League may use the replay in playoff games this year.
Here's Herman Hurd, the 185-pound halfback. They don't want to get him the ball too much, but they want to use him on sweeps. He makes a nice jump over the pile there, and he is an excellent addition to this offense this year.
They felt they ran him too much in the victory over the Raiders a week ago last Thursday. Hurd with 32 yards on 7 carries. First down for the Chiefs. That's Hurd again, cracking down to the 7-yard line. Herman Hurd, who played at Southern Colorado. Sanders Shiver, number 96, again in there to make the tackle. Quite a story about Sanders Shiver. Shula asked him back this year. Shiver wasn't sure whether he wanted to come back or not. He was with the Colts for 8 years and starred there for 4 seasons. And when Shiver finally made up his mind, the free agent said, yes, I'm going to come back and play. He's done a good job.
Shula likes him because he rushes the passer well from the linebacker position.
Second down and 7. Jones hit back at the 9-yard line by big Mike Charles. Charles, number 71.
That's Chuck Studley in the blue shirt, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Sure, he's very excited about this play right here, number 71. to the right of your screen, making the play, Mike Charles, big and strong, about 275 pounds. There he is with his arm raised.
There's John Mackovic, a quarterback at Wake Forest back in 1961 through 64. Now the head coach of these Chiefs. Third down. Kinney over the middle, down to the 2-yard line to Herman Hurd. And they may have the first down. It's going to be very close. They could get the first down without getting the touch, and I think they're going to call the chains in.
This is a very close call here. Too close to call from the booth, in fact, but Kinney is operating that offense as well as he can. As you see, the receptions by Herman Hurd, and he is excellent coming out of the backfield. But Kinney is operating that offense very, very nicely, Jay. He's letting the receivers clear the areas, and he's utilizing Herman Hurd underneath, and they're making some big plays.
They're going to stretch him out, and
I'd go for it.
Well, it looked to be, what, an inch or two?
Even though I got Lowry, who's a surefire three-pointer, I want 7 points right now.
They're going to go 3 tight ends. Arnold 87, Scott 81, and Hayes 85 are in there. Trying to get on the board first. 8:10 left to play in this first half. Hurd and King behind Kinney. The pitch back coming. Herman Hurd, and let's see, did he get the first down? I don't know. Boy, he had a real problem, and he wriggled out of it, and he might have gotten the job done. I don't know. It's very close. They're going to measure right along the sideline. First down, Kansas City, goal to go at the 1.
Excellent defensive position here. These are case for missed tackles. Watch it right there. Here's Sowell, number 45, misses the tackle in the backfield. Another miss right there. That's Brown. And what determination by a 185-pound running back. Another angle.
Outstanding football from Herman Hurd. Just gutted it out there. First and goal to go. E.J. Jones in the backfield now. Kinney in trouble. Kinney throwing, and incomplete. Jonathan Hayes, the rookie tight end from Iowa, just couldn't get there.
And it was pressure by Kozlowski that forced Kinney to throw that ball prematurely.
Kinney looked like he was in real trouble. Was going to be caught back at about the 5 or 6 yard line right there, but he managed to get out of there and get it away.
They had to shot put that ball to get it out there, Jeff.
Second down and goal. This crowd yelling defense, defense. In the backfield now, Hurd 44 and King 46. Kinney comes this way and goes down. Leading the way was Jay Brophy, number 53. Also Robert Sowell, and look at Brophy cheerleading this crowd.
Brophy, who lost his starting job at inside linebacker to Ship, didn't sulk, didn't put his head down, but he's come back just like a true professional and is playing the outside position today because of the lack of outside players. Makes a tremendous play right here. Kinney on the roll, Sowell attacking from the outside, and there's Brophy. Big defensive play.
The loss is back to the 10-yard line. Third down, goal to go. Kinney throwing, and incomplete. Pass appeared to be intended for Stephon Page. It looks like he was held up. The two coaches looking out at the scene. And coming onto the field, Nick Lowry. Lowry, born in Munich, Germany, went to school at Dartmouth. #1 career percentage place kicker in the history of the NFL. Look at that. He's something. This is going to be a 27-yard attempt. Bill Kinney will hold. Nick Lowry to break a scoreless tie. They fake. They fake, and Kinney throws, and it is a penalty marker down. Well, what about that? Here's the best field goal kicker in the National Football League, and they go with a pass off the play. And do we have interference down there?
I thought there was an illegal lineman downfield.
That's it. They bust the play and come away empty.
Not a very smart play, if you ask me, Jay, on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're playing Don Shula, and he has got these players aroused because of all of the poor calls. And then here is a man who is 32 of 32 in his career, almost a chip shot for him. They fake it, and they go for the big one. They don't get it. Watch the momentum change in this game.
Well, there was interference, too, but as you saw, the illegal man downfield. We'll come back with more in a moment. Whew, you believe that?
I can't believe he did that.
Explain that to me.
I don't agree with that.
Give me another Sprite if they've got it over there. Boy, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Unbelievable. Okay.
Today's game is brought to you by National Car Rental. When you rent a car for business or pleasure, you deserve national attention. By Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Owens Corning. Our building products put your house in the pink.
Tony Nathan carrying the football for Miami. It's still a scoreless game. Scott Radisek, number 97, the inside linebacker, made the play. Nathan now with 27 yards on 7 carries. Pickup of about 4. Don Shula. Look at the water running off the great veteran coach who has the best winning percentage among the active coaches. Marino is 5 out of 9 for 44 yards. Look out! Oh, my! That was a touchdown if he could have held on. Lewis. Albert Lewis, the third-year man from Grambling, dropped that ball when he had the goal line in his sights.
As a cornerback, you recognize 3-step drop by the quarterback. Now run, now come to the receiver. That's exactly what Albert Lewis does right there. If he had hands, he probably would have scored a touchdown, and he also would be a wide receiver.
If he had good hands, anyway, right? Wow, a golden opportunity. Goes by the boards. Still fascinated by that fake out of the field goal formation. Marino, a lot of time. And to the far sideline, knocked out of bounds is Tony Nathan. Kevin Ross came up to crack him. Reggie Roby will come on to do the punting. Roby, perhaps the top punter in the game, is a tremendous force. Number 6 draft choice out of Iowa. 62-yarder, his longest this season. 49.7 average. And he'll kick to Garcia Lane, the refugee from the United States Football League.
And Ohio State had a tremendous career there as a kick runner.
Played with the Baltimore Stars for a couple of years. A high boomer from the toe of Roby. at the 35. Lane steps up at the 40 and gets to the 43-yard line. A 46-yard punt, an 8-yard return, 5:25 to play in the first half. More in a moment. Shula's saying, boy, we're lucky we're not.
You know what? A point we might make, too, now that Carlos Carson is out of the ball game now. This.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes the way they play offense because now they can't play the 4 wide receivers and the 3 wide receivers and so forth. It's going to limit their effectiveness in third down situations. Nice to see who they bring in there to play that role for them. Cooled off somewhat.
See if anything is wrong with Herkenhoff. He's not in the game. Yeah, he's not in the game.
I think probably a matter of marvelous.
Reggie, it's cooled off a little bit. We're down to about 100 degrees down there.
Speak for yourself.
Kansas City will start from their 42-yard line. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. First and 10. Coming in motion, Stephon Page to the near side. Kinney steps up and throws, and it's complete for a first down at the 48-yard line of the Dolphins. Making the catch, Henry Marshall, a 12-yard pickup. Langford, 44, there on the play. Marshall, who was a great star at Missouri.
One of the more demoralizing things that can happen to a defense is to lose the #1 threat like the Chiefs have done, losing Carson, and now Marshall starts to hurt you. They have to start Marshall if they intend to stop this passing game now.
The first report we get on Carlos Carson is that it's a problem with the left knee, and they'll let us know more as soon as the examination is concluded. Over the middle, wide open, the tight end Willie Scott. Scott, the 5th-year man from South Carolina, who is known more as a ferocious blocker than a pass catcher. That's his first pass caught this season. Jackie Shipp, 50, and Mark Brown, 51 on the tackle.
6'4", 250 pounds, Jay. He's noted, as you said, as a blocker, but is beginning to catch the ball a lot better this year.
Ball down at the 39-yard line, second down. 49ers leading 10-3 in the second quarter over the Raiders. Jets leading Green Bay 7-3 second quarter. Jeff Smith, number 42, is in the backfield now for Kansas City, along with Bruce King. That is Smith. Smith appears to have the first down. Doug Betters, 75, the tackle. We isolate on Betters on that last play.
He is the prototypical defensive lineman in the scheme. 6'7", 265. You see him get rid of Lutz, and wow, that's a hard way to go down for a rookie.
And they did not get the first down. Jeff Smith comes out. It's King and Hurd, 46 and 44 in the backfield. Hancock, 82, is set to the left side, and Stephon Page to the right side, and the handoff going to Herman Hurd. He didn't get it. Boy, some defense is being played, and Jackie Shipp led the way. Mike Charles, number 71, doing some rooting. His mom is in the crowd here today watching him play. Charles out of Syracuse on injured reserve much of '84.
That's where when you weigh 185 pounds as a running back, it hurts you, Jay. You don't have the leverage and the strength to move those big bodies in a short yardage situation like that.
Lowry will attempt a 55-yard field goal. 55-yarder.
He made 2 from 52 in warm-up.
Had a 58-yarder earlier this year, and it is no good. Wide to the left. Well, they had the opportunity earlier from in close. Tried the fake, it didn't work. Miss here. We still have a scoreless ball game with 2:58 to play first half.
Wouldn't let him kick from 50.
Right?
His confidence was shaken, huh? Nothing.
Who would have thunk it?
Right. Goose eggs. Well, they're using a lot of players, too.
Have
Steve.
to.
They're using a lot of players out there. Six of 11, 49 yards. Okay.
Did he? John Makovic, the head man of the Chiefs, his team the highest scoring team in the NFL, 83 points. Scoreless game here, quite a surprise. First down, Marino's going to go upstairs. Over the middle, it is complete. That's Hampton at the 50 and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton, his first catch of the season. Kevin Ross, 31, ran him out. Hampton, who played at Florida, as we mentioned, the #1 draft pick, 16 yards on the play.
And this is why they drafted Hampton. They needed a halfback who can explode once he catches the ball. Breaks the tackle there, and now here's Hampton showing that speed, and he gets out of bounds and stops the clock. That's important.
Marino is 7 of 11 for 65 yards. The Dolphins in Kansas City territory at the 47-yard line. Over the middle, incomplete. Good play by Lloyd Burris, the strong safety. Hardy, the intended receiver, number 84. Sprained left knee for Carlos Carson. He is out of the game, will not play anymore this afternoon. So that is a very tough break for the Chiefs. Changes their scheme of things on offense a bit.
You betcha. The Miami Dolphins defense now will swarm upon the Chief receivers like bees.
Second down coming up. Nathan and Davenport in the backfield for the Dolphins of Don Shula. Marino has to hurry. He took a shot, and the pass intended for Hardy went wide. Good pursuit in there. Albert Lewis coming across from left corner really put the pressure on the quarterback of the Dolphins.
And only Dan Marino would have been capable of getting rid of that ball and not taking a sack because of his extremely quick release. 7 of 14, 64 yards, indicative of the kind of game we're having here today, we thought, Jay, we would have a large scoring game.
Well, at halftime, Bob and Ahmad and Axe will come your way and bring you up to date on the happenings in Sunday on the world of sport. Marino, a lot of time, throws and almost intercepted. It was number 22 in the prevent defense, Sherman Cockcroft, the first-year man from San Jose, who had already intercepted a pass this season. Looked like maybe Mark Clayton was the intended receiver, but the ball was not on target.
I think Dan is experiencing some troubles also with the humidity. This ball just takes off on Marino. See how wobbly it is? The humidity today is affecting both quarterbacks.
Roby to do the punting. Roby, who paid at Iowa for Hayden Fry. Angles it to the near sideline. Garcia Lane takes a look at it, lets it go, and it is down right at the 2-yard line. Now there's a flag thrown down there, and we'll see what the discussion is. Like the ball went out at about the 2. 45-yard punt. Referee Tom Dooley talking it over. The side judge there with him, Gary Lane.
Illegally touching 29 offense.
Illegal touch offense.
Which means that Swain probably was in the end zone when he touched the football, and you can't do that. There's a kick by Roby, looking for the out of bounds inside the 20 kick. Now 29 on the right side is Swain. Now let's see if he gets in the end zone.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He gets in the end zone. You can see both feet in the end zone. That's an illegal touch. I think had he let the ball go anyway, Jay, it was headed out of bounds.
All right, well, Swain looks at the situation.
Offense, penalties accepted, re-kick.
Gonna re-kick it.
Oh, we'll give Reggie Roby a chance to really put him in the hole. They have the biggest kickers here in the league, by the way.
Yes, I should say. Roby, you know, is...
What's he weigh?
Well, he's about 245,
and what about
6'2".
Fuad?
And Fuad Reves, their rookie place kicker's 222 and 5'11". Lowry is 6'4 and 189, and Arnold is 6'2 and 212.
Guys don't push themselves away from the table too readily.
Garcia Lane will try to bring it back if he gets the opportunity.
Whoa.
Oh. Garcia Lane looks at it and watches it go into the end zone. Oh. 52-yard punt. Kansas City will take over at the 20-yard line with 2:08 left to play in a scoreless first half.
Well, you know, the problem with Kansas City now, Jay, is that since they don't have that real home run threat on the flanks now, with Carson out of the ball game, they may have to work their way very, very arduously downfield. They won't be able to go for the big ball. They're going to have to use Hurd, use Marshall, and hope to get some production from Stephon Page, who is now substituting for Carlos Carson.
Marshall comes to the left side. A good look at Bill Kinney, who played at Northern Colorado. A very fine, maturing young quarterback. He throws complete to Walt Arnold, the tight end, and they say incomplete. Oh.
Once again, it isn't a very good pass by Bill Kinney. Looking for Walt Arnold, he throws the ball right into the ground. Arnold tries to inveigle the officials into thinking that he caught the ball, but he didn't.
Inveigle? That's a new word. I like that. Inveigle.
That's like fool him.
They'll get the 2-minute warning here in a moment. Beaucamper, Moore, Betters, and Charles are all in there now for Miami, and the handoff goes to Herman Hurd. Hurd out to the 24-yard line before Jackie Shipp makes the tackle, number 50. And we're going to have the 2-minute warning. And Hurd has 39 yards rushing. Scoreless game. Give me a shot at the Kansas City offensive line. They've got Alt 76 and Lingner 62 and Baldinger 77 all in there. Yeah, well, I just want to say that because of the heat,
yeah,
probably.
Because of the heat.
It's probably because of the heat. Yes, sir. Yeah, great. That's fine.
Okay.
Good. Very good. Right. Yeah. Olderman. Right.
The whole crew.
Second quarter, San Francisco 10, Los Angeles Rams 3. Second quarter, New York Jets 7, Green Bay Packers. Over Tampa Bay 20-13.
For the Chiefs in the offensive line, John Alt 76 now for Herkenhoff, and Lingner 62 for Rush. Rich Baldinger 77 playing for Olderman, and there's Herkenhoff over there along with Olderman. A little hot.
Yes.
They're getting a little rest. Well deserved. Third down and 6. Out of the shotgun, Bill Kinney. At the time, he throws. Incomplete. Henry Marshall, the intended receiver. John Swain, number 29, doing a good job covering him.
Well, now they're beginning to play a lot of man-to-man tight coverage because they don't have Carson on the field, and they're not worried about the deep threat. Now watch 29 at the top of your screen, how close he is guarding Marshall, because Marshall just doesn't have the speed to run by him.
Lockett is back to receive the punt. He lets it go. Now is going to pick it up at the 25. And down he goes. Jim Arnold with a 51-yard punt. Lewis Cooper, the reserve linebacker, number 55, downfield. Arnold, who played at Vanderbilt. Iowa State winning a tight one at Ames, Iowa, over Vanderbilt yesterday.
And watching Dan Marino execute the 2-minute offense in practice Friday, he utilized Tony Nathan and Nat Moore extensively. They had 4 and 5 receivers in the ball game. You'll see a lot of pressure on the Miami Dolphins offensive line to block 5 people on 5 and allow everybody else to get into the pass pattern.
A minute and 40 to play in the first half and no score. That's been the big surprise. Ron Davenport is in the backfield along with Hampton, and this is Davenport. Davenport spinning to the 28-yard line. Art Still, number 67, on the tackle, and that didn't look like the 2-minute offense to me.
Just at the last moment there, Shula sent back in his regular offense to control the football, apparently.
Now they go to the shotgun on second down. Marino comes out and throws, and it's complete at the 45-yard line. And almost breaking it away over there was Nat Moore. Kevin Ross, 31, on the tackle. Moore, of course, playing in his hometown. Marino a little upset.
I think Marino wants that 2-minute offense in there because he can't operate with this pass offense unless he has the quick pass receivers in the ballgame.
Marino's statistics this afternoon. He comes over to talk things over. We'll be back with more from the Orange Bowl in just a moment.
Okay, Steve, you can now isolate on 22 Nathan and 89 Nat Moore because
Marino has done his visiting with Don Shula and with Don Strock.
And an interesting thing with Marino when he does visit the sideline is he talks more to Strock than he does to Shula.
Miami with the ball at their own 47. 1:07 left to play. The Dolphins with 2 timeouts remaining. The Chiefs with 3. Again, the shotgun for the Dolphins. And they were coming over the middle. It's incomplete.
No.
Sherman Cocroft was crawling up the back of the intended receiver, and Shula and his folks on the near sideline wanted a call.
They were looking for a reciprocal agreement.
Greg Hill in the secondary now, number 4 draft pick at Houston, picked up on waivers last season. Again from the shotgun, and the throw is complete at the 45-yard line on the far side. It was Heflin making a fine reception. Kevin Ross again was there. Timeout called. The Dolphins will have 1 remaining.
You know, Vince Heflin has been cut 2 years in a row. Top of your screen, this is Heflin. Good pressure against the defensive back. Now run away from him. Leaps high in the air to protect the ball, makes the catch. And I'll tell you, that Kevin Ross is a fine defender and a tough tackler. But Heflin is a fellow who has been cut 2 years in a row now. And
both times he was headed for the CFL.
And he signed, and Vigorito in both instances was the player that they had to call him back to replace.
Vigorito had a pretty impressive preseason, trying to come back from the injury, but now he's out with a hamstring and a minimum of 4 weeks. Of course, Duper is out with a fractured leg. Don Shula does have Glenn Blackwood back in the fold. Brzezinski is back in the fold.
And suited up, although he just reported yesterday.
They missed Don McNeil, hurt in the first preseason game. Charles Bowser is missed, certainly. He's out with a sprained ankle. Coming up at halftime, NFL 85. Mr. Costas, Mr. Rashad, and Mr. Axthelm will regale you with the activities in the National Football League on this Sunday.
Those guys all have missed their first name, right?
52 seconds left to go in this first half. Marino again from the shotgun out to Tony Nathan, and I don't know if he's got the first down. Otis McKinney, number 21, pulled him down. It appears to be a little short from our vantage point.
It won't matter because they'll go for it on 4th down here.
Yeah, they're going to measure anyway, I think. Clock stopped with 40 seconds left to go in this first half. It has cooled off a little bit. About 115 degrees on the floor of the stadium when we kicked off. Down now just below 100.
Marino, for a young player, takes surprising command of a football game. His presence is felt everywhere on the football field. Very rare that officials, as you take a look at how closely they are to a first down. It's short, but this is 4-down territory. By that I mean that Shula will use 4 downs to pick up a first down. But the officials on the football field, a young player in his 3rd year, have great respect for Dan Marino.
Well, he set 11 team and 5 league records last year. had his 13th 300-yard plus game last week. 4th down. Davenport and Nathan behind Marino. And the give goes to Nathan. He hurdles for the 1st down. 1 timeout remaining, clock running. Clock shows 9 seconds left. They're down to 6, 5. They get this last play away over the middle, and it's complete to Joe Rose, but they're out of time. Complete to Rose down at the 13, but no time remaining. Reggie, a very interesting first half. First of all, a surprise, a scoreless game. Don Shula and John Makovic will talk it over with their units. And NFL 85 halftime activities will continue in just a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. To the right, and the throw over the middle is complete to Hardy, the tight end. Hardy is inside the 10, an 11-yard pickup, 1st down. Gary Spaney, 59 on the tackle. Bruce Hardy out of Arizona State, 28 catches last year, originally a quarterback in college.
Hardy, excellent, versatile athlete who blocks a little more than he catches passes. Joe Rose is the designated pass receiver, but notice the protection that Marino is getting now. In the first half, they were forcing Dan to release the ball a little sooner than he wanted to. Now Marino is standing in the pocket, looking across the entire field and hitting his passes.
Well, I may have spoken too soon. I thought they had the 1st down, but they brought the chains out. And they do have the 1st down.
You're eagle eyes, Jay.
We mentioned some of the people the Dolphins are missing. Of course, Bob Baumhauer is out with the knee and ankle problems, and Eric Laxo is missed. He has the knee problem. It's going to be 1st down at the 9-yard line. 1st and goal to go. Clock running with 12:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. Marino 14 of 23 now and 158 yards. They've got one-on-one coverage on Clayton off to the left side, and the throw to Hardy for the touchdown. We said Clayton was one-on-one on the left side, and it cleared it out over there.
Well, what happens, Clayton is such a threat that when he goes inside, everybody else goes inside with him. As you can see at the top of the screen, how he affects the coverage. And Bruce Hardy, boy, he's making his presence felt now, Jay.
1st touchdown of the year for Hardy. Claude Reves with the extra point. It is good. 11:54 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Dolphins 7. The Chiefs nothing. Yeah.
Yes. I think the key play, Steve, I think the key play in the whole drive wasn't even made by a player. I think it was a decision by Shula to run the reverse. It ignited the entire series. Sounds like that Houston Oilers.
It is. Miami Dolphins.
is brought to you by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with a Silver Bullet. By Chrysler Plymouth, who invites you to discover the new technology of driving at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
The kickoff into the end zone, out of the end zone by the rookie Fuad Reveiz. Dan Marino talking it over with Don Strock and head coach Don Shula as the Dolphins have the lead now 7-0. They went 53 yards on 5 plays. Kansas City sets up shop at their own 20-yard line. Bill Kinney, number 9 at quarterback. Bob Rush, 53, is there at center. Kirkenhoff and Buddy. Olderman and Lutz. Kinney, 7 out of 17 for 78 yards. And a fine catch by Walt Arnold, the tight end. A one-hand grab, and he held on. Jackie Schiff, number 50, on the tackle. 8 yards on the play.
Kansas City has been looking for a tight end to help take some of the pressure off Carson and Henry Marshall over the past 2 years. Now they feel they have that in a man like Walt Arnold. Watch here now. He fakes the block. That slows up the linebackers. Now watch him right here, makes a one-handed catch behind his back. They haven't had a tight end who could catch like that in some time.
Willie Scott, number 81, is now in there at tight end. The handoff going to Herman Hurd. Hurd over the 35, out of the 40 to the 42-yard line. William Judson, 49, made the stop. Judson out of South Carolina State. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the NFL is prohibited. With Reggie Rucker, Jay Randolph here in the Orange Bowl. Ethan Horton, number 32, in the backfield now for the Chiefs. Hurd has 63 yards on the day. That's Page going in motion. Back the other way comes Bruce King. King is over the 45-yard line to the 46. Wrapped up there by Sanders Shiver, number 96. King out of Purdue, a very powerful kid and a good receiver.
Yes, he is. And they will have to utilize more players like King and Hurd and Arnold to help take up the slack of the offense that they will be missing without Carlos Carson on the football field.
And we keep referring to that injury, the left knee of Carson, and the fact that he will not play anymore today. It's a big hurt for Kansas City. Kinney has lots of time, and he bails out, and the catch was made by Horton. He had to go to the outman to the right side, his running back. Good coverage down there. Robin Senline with an excellent hit, number 52, to make the play. Matt Moore being attended to on the far side.
Senline is the player who came here from the Minnesota Vikings for the rights to Anthony Carter. I wonder if the Dolphins would like to have Anthony Carter right now.
Well, Senline out of the University of Texas came over. They also gave up a second-round pick at midfield. 3rd down and 2. And, oh, my, he dropped it. Woo. Henry Marshall let it go right through his hands. He had the first down.
I can tell you, as a wide receiver, the most critical thing that you want to have when you make a pass reception like this, Marshall using his hands, you want dry hands. You can't have dry hands today. Watch the ball go right through his hands because they're wet. Good work, fellas.
Jim Arnold is punting. Frank Lockett downfield. Lockett at the 14. Gets it up to the 20-yard line. Fumble. And Miami retains possession. And a little shoving going on in underneath there. The Dolphins will put it in play at their own 20-yard line. 8:57 left, 3rd quarter. Dolphins 7, Chiefs nothing.
36-yard punt by Jim Arnold. The Dolphins take over.
J. Born in the USA. How you like that, Steve?
I'm not. Yeah. Phillies and Mares. A sports happening, an unprecedented day of racing, Super Saturday, November 2nd, and then I hope you'll stay tuned for the premiere of the Fall Bowling Tour.
During the timeout, they were playing Bruce Springsteen music. You've got some great moves, partner.
I love that Springsteen. Yes, sir. Dolphins 7, Chiefs nothing. Dolphins 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. We're in the third quarter. Marino hands off, and that is Lorenzo Hampton. Hampton getting maybe a yard before Bill Moss, number 63, made the play. They're playing in the shadows down there. Moss looked like he hurt his left hand a little bit. The first defensive lineman picked in the draft last year out of Pittsburgh.
And speaking of Bill Moss, by the very fact we haven't called his name a lot means that Dwight Stevenson is doing a remarkable job on him.
Well, that was one of the matchups we talked about at the top of the show. Stevenson, the finest centers in the game, if not the best, has handled Moss in pretty good fashion. On second down, Marino double pumps. He's going long and incomplete. Well, he had Heflin down there. Mark Clayton, number 83, was there also, and it was Clayton who couldn't quite get to it. Well, the Mets lose. The Cardinals win. The Cardinals are up by 3. Toronto loses. The Yankees win, pick up a game, 5.5 there. And Kansas City loses. California and Cleveland are 9-9. And what an interesting race we have going down these final weeks. Dodgers leading this afternoon. And Cincinnati, of course, plays tonight at Houston. Penalty markers are down. Marino's got a free play, and he throws, and it's complete. Up the near sideline to Mark Clayton at the 32-yard line. Greg Hill, number 23, was there on the play, and we'll see what referee Tom Dooley and his crew have for us. Shadows now beginning to engulf the closed end of the stadium.
Clayton has been pleading.
Offside. Number 90 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Bob Ham, number 90, third-year man.
Mark Clayton has been pleading with the officials because there's been so much contact on the patterns. It's Mike Bell, number 99, who just gets back, or at least he thinks so.
Well, they had offside anyway.
They're really roughing Clayton up, though, Jay, in his pass pattern.
Here comes Clayton to the near side. Marino over the middle.
Whoa.
Oh, my, what a fine catch by Bruce Hardy as he and Spaney collided. They really banged. Hardy did an excellent job of holding on to that ball after he took that hit from Gary Spaney. Spaney, who had a fine game
Immediately you
against the Raiders.
You need to ask Bruce Hardy what day it is, because a hit like that can sometimes not leave you unconscious.
Both these clubs coming off victories a week from last Thursday, the 12th. Kansas City won 36-20 at Arrowhead over the Raiders. The Dolphins won here last Sunday 30-13 from the Colts. Pouring it on late. Ron Davenport. Davenport across the 45 to the 46. Scott Radisak, 97 on the tackle. The more I see of Davenport, and I had the privilege of seeing him in preseason a couple of times, he impresses.
He's big and strong, as we said. He runs well between the tackles, and that's what the Dolphins need to augment this passing attack that they have. Good, strong running between the tackles.
Miami Vice, V-I-S-E. The offensive line of the Dolphins, they call themselves. They have matching T-shirts and everything. First down for Miami. Play action. Marino with all kinds of time going downfield and incomplete. Mark Clayton couldn't hold on. He was double covered down there. Albert Lewis, 29, and Duron Cherry, number 20, were there. But you see the ability of Clayton. He almost came away with his ball.
Not only Clayton, but Marino here adjusts right in the middle of the pattern. He wants to loop this ball. Now he changes his mind, and he fires a rifle right on the line to Clayton. And you know what? Clayton, with his jumping ability and concentration, normally makes that kind of catch. Watch the reaction here. After making the adjustment right on the throw, he knows he has hit his man, but he said he just didn't come up with it that time.
Yeah, he liked the way he threw it. You could tell that. Second down. Hampton and Davenport are in the backfield behind Marino. And this is Hampton. And Hampton inside the 45-yard line, and that offensive line of the Dolphins, Giesler and Foster and Stevenson and Lee and Green are doing a job. Tackled by Sherman Cockcroft, number 22.
Cleveland Green says that, hey, we're outstanding pass blockers is true, but we just don't get the credit for being good run blockers because we have such an awesome passing attack that we don't practice running the ball that much.
Bill Moss out of the lineup. Problem with his hand. They're taping it. We understand he'll be back in. Koch is in there now with Ham. Lindstrom, 71. Eric Holly's in the game, number 93.
Jay, if the weather will begin to affect the defense in any shape or form, it will be against the run. They will wear down.
Well, that appears to be what's happening. Third down and a yard. Timeout. That move by Hampton confused Marino, and he immediately called timeout. Boy, he's a mature quarterback for 24 years of age.
And he isn't afraid at all to let you know if you've made a mistake. You saw Hampton right then pleading his case. Hey, I thought, hey, I thought we need for you to pay attention.
5:38 remaining to be played in the third quarter. We had a scoreless first half, surprising. And at 11:54 of this third quarter, Marino hit Hardy on a 9-yard touchdown pass. And the point after was good by Reveiz. It's 7-0. Run down some of the scores for you. San Francisco and the Raiders are 13-3 in the third quarter. The Jets lead Green Bay 7-3. They're in the third quarter.
We may see if this in fact affects the Dolphins late in the fourth quarter by having to call that timeout prematurely.
You know, we're talking about the baseball races, and next week on NBC on Saturday, both the Cardinals action and the Mets action will be featured as that National League East race goes to the wire. The fans on the field, fellas trying to cool off a little bit.
The big fellas in the ball game, the people that weigh 270, 275, 280 and so forth, Jay, they will lose a lot of weight today. And as the game wears on, they become weaker because they lose so much fluid, it saps them of their strength. And you must keep fresh players in the ball game to help defend against the passing attack of the Dolphins.
I want to correct something. We showed you the baseball scoreboard a moment ago, and we had California and Cleveland tied at 9. Correcting that score, in the 9th inning, California leads Cleveland 9-8. Cleveland and Kansas City battling. Speaking of battling, a lot of frustration being taken out on both sides there.
See, I believe there's just no excuse for not knowing the snap count and for players going offside.
Offside, defense.
He blamed them all.
Well, I'll tell you, this appears to be against the offense to me. What do you think, Jay? The offensive player cannot move once he assumes a three-point stance.
Well, I would say it sure looked like you could call it either way. The Dolphins, of course, led the NFL in fewest penalties for the last 9 years, and some of his fellow coaches have indicated that that's because Mr. Shula's on the competition committee. But then there are people who know Don Shula that say this is the way he drills his teams, not to make mistakes out there that cause them penalties. There's the penalty yardage for today. 5.5 to play, third quarter. 1st and 10 to go for the Dolphins. And And the give goes to Davenport. Davenport just inside the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Bell, number 99, and we'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
2nd and 5.
Reggie Rucker and yours truly, Jay Randolph, here in the Orange Bowl. Hope you're enjoying it. Miami leading 7-0 on a 9-yard touchdown pass, Marino to Hardy, in the third quarter. 5 minutes to play in this third period. 2nd down and 5 at the 34-yard line. Clayton moving toward the huddle. Rushes on. Clayton comes back out. Little hook pattern. Gets it to the 30. Not enough for the first down. Boy, he's fun to watch, though. Albert Lewis, number 29, didn't find much fun in it as he made the play along with Deron Cherry. There is the corner down there, isn't it? They call it
Clayton's Kids Corner. Watch Mark Clayton here. Little improvisation right here. Watch, because you don't normally turn your back to the defender like that, but he makes the catch because he's so quick. But that banner down there, Clayton's Kids Corner, are underprivileged kids that Mark Clayton supports and brings to the Dolphin home games.
Yeah, he buys between 50 and 100 tickets a game for those people who get a chance to see the NFL. Here's 3rd down and 1. And the call to Davenport. He's got it. Davenport down to the 27-yard line. 1st down, Dolphins. The Dolphins are winning this ball game at the line of scrimmage right now, and John Makovic knows it.
Well, the one thing about Mike Bell on the right side, he's a great pass rusher, but teams like to challenge him with the run. And that ball that time was ran right at Giesler and Bell. Bell, number 99, on the right side.
Dan Marino is 18 of 29, 190 yards and a touchdown. Marino looks to the right, comes back to the left, and touchdown! Woody Bennett! Dan Marino really put that one on consignment.
And only Dan Marino, with his arm and quick release, can look to the right. Watch it. Now fire this ball back to the left. Line drive type throw. Woody Bennett makes a spectacular catch.
Yeah, that's not an easy catch, backpedaling like that. The point after by Fuad Reveiz.
And not when Dan Marino, with all of his velocity, is firing the football.
3:16 to play in the third quarter. 14-0 Dolphins. Good stuff. Very nice. How long was the pass? 27 yards. Yes. Right.
I can't believe they just stole that lyric. Well, not the lyric, but
Well, the song. It's
generic.
yeah, generic, right? Next Saturday, some of you'll see the Mets and the Pirates, the Cardinals and the Expos. As we go to the wire, the tradition is here, the memory's waiting. NBC, the network of the '85 League Championship Series. The kickoff coming down. Anthony Hancock is out at the 10. Bang! Whoop! Hancock hit at the 12-yard line by Robert Sowell, the cornerback. Sowell, who won his way onto this team out of Howard University in Washington, D.C., the free agent headhunter.
There's Sowell, 45, almost a decapitating shot on Anthony Hancock. Very thin player, but has a lot of explosive ability in the upper body.
And he gives a lot of spark to that specialty unit out there. Chiefs are down 14-0. They'll start at their own 13-yard line. Pass complete to Herman Hurd. Hurd took it over the middle, got it to the 17-yard line before Jackie Shipp, number 50, made the stop.
Jay, this just isn't the personality of the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't want to throw that type of pass consistently, but they have to because they just don't have the quick strike ability right now.
And the reason, for those of you who joined us late, injured in the first half, the talented Carlos Carson.
I think fans in Kansas City are realizing how much of an impact he has on the football field.
Carson came out of Leonard High School in Lake Worth, Florida. That's Jeff Smith, a young man from Nebraska, drafted in the 10th round, the rookie, native of Wichita. And I believe that is Smith's first carry. Time to bring you up to date. Dallas 20-7. That's a final. We'll run through all of these finals. Pittsburgh a big winner today. The Giants upsetting the Cardinals. Denver over Atlanta. How about Philadelphia beating the Skins? Kinney is 9 out of 20 for 91 yards. And he's facing third down 2. And Jeff Smith doesn't get there. And this defensive unit is fired up for the Dolphins. Mike Charles, number 71, number 2 draft pick out of Syracuse, now in his 3rd year, has really come into his own at that nose tackle slot.
You're right. Charles, a big, strong, aggressive pursuer, is being aided by the fact that the Dolphins have 9 men up around the line of scrimmage.
Jim Arnold is punting. And the kick coming down gets a good bounce as far as Kansas City's concerned. Goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 45-yard punt. 1:12 left in the 3rd quarter. The Dolphins have the lead.
Brzezinski.
All right. We are the children.
Sowell. Sowell.
Sowell. Might as well.
Are you gonna have that coverage from the kickoff, or what are you picking him up?
Is that Blackwood?
That's Lyle.
That's Lyle. It's not Glenn. Yes, sir. Where's Brzezinski? Yeah, that's probably better. There's that defensive unit. Shiver and Charles and Jackie Shipp right there doing quite a job.
lot of players.
Brzezinski right there, number 59 in uniform. They worked with him yesterday.
And Jay, Nat Moore is out of the ball game. He has an ankle sprain. They don't think he'll return.
So the Chiefs lose Carlos Carson, and now the Dolphins lose the veteran Nat Moore. Vince Heflin is in there, 88. Pass out into left flat. Tony Nathan did a nice job, almost broke it for a lot more. Moss, who is back in, remember they were taping his hand, number 63. He made the stop. Good blocking up front by the 6-year veteran from Alabama, Dwight Stevenson. Stevenson, number 57. I guess the highest praise that's ever been paid to him was the late Bear Bryant when he said he was the best ever. Al Davis, you think it's hot here? I'd hate to be around Al right now. As Montana has just hit Dwight Clark on a 14-yarder. It's 20-3. Handoff goes to Davenport. Davenport bangs close to the first down. He got to the 44-yard line. Jerry Blanton, number 57. 7-year man out of Kentucky, making the play. Nat Moore, as we indicated to you, will not be back anymore today. 64 career touchdowns for Nat. Duper, of course, out with a fractured leg, so things have been tough for both of these clubs. That's the end of the third quarter. Score, Miami 14, Kansas City nothing. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Okay.
Wow, wait. Looks like he's got the gout.
That really doesn't do any good either, I can tell you that.
What, the ice?
Yeah. It just looks good.
Well, it sometimes helps the swelling a little, doesn't it?
Not through all of that stuff. And he's got tape on, 2 socks, shoe.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, this is for aesthetics here.
That ice bag is turned to water. Look at it.
Yeah, it's so hot. The ice that was there is now water. Oh, how hot is it? It's so hot. How about when we come back? Jay, it is so hot. How hot is it? You gonna stay with this picture?
Trying to.
Jay, it is so hot.
It sure is hot. No question about that. How hot is it? That ice bag is turned to water on the foot of Nat Moore.
It's now a water bag. And that doesn't do any good, incidentally, I can tell you.
You see the temperature, though, has dropped down to about 90. At one point, it was 115 down there. Marino, 20 of 31, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. That'll cost him 5 yards as Bill Moss jumped off.
Well, it's a voice he's heard a lot, being the brother-in-law of Dan Marino, but they don't allow you to get a quick start here.
Through 3 quarters of play. Look at the passing yardage.
I'm surprised, of course, with the total yards of the KC Chiefs, 169 total offense. Unheard of, 94 yards passing. They have one of the preeminent passing attacks in all of professional football.
Well, this points up the value of Carlos Carson even more when you look at those stats. Opening play of the 4th quarter. And Marino's going to go up top. And going long downfield for Heflin, intercepted. That's Kevin Ross. Ross made the catch, his 3rd interception of this season, the 9th of his career. Ross in his 2nd season turning into quite a performer. Marino a little upset. Ross out of Temple makes a fine play.
Now, I don't blame that interception on Marino because Heflin changed the pattern on Marino. Now Marino is looking for Heflin to go outside. Heflin at this point has changed his route, has gone inside. As you can see him turning around there. You can't do that on a quarterback in the middle of the pattern.
Kansas City's going to get the ball at about the 7-yard line.
But that's
They're
a great,
down.
excuse me, Jay, that's a great punt. That's an excellent
That's a pretty
punt.
good point. Dolphins leading at 14-0. Here come the Chiefs. Let's see if they can get something going. Bill Kenny stands in there at quarterback. He falls down, gets up, throws, completes it out to the 13-yard line to Walt Arnold. Looked like Kenny's leg went right out from under him. He's limping a little bit. They have twisted a knee. Jackie Shipp made the tackle. San Diego defeated Cincinnati in a slugfest there. New England beat Buffalo. New Orleans gets the victory over Tampa Bay. And the Colts win their first one of the season. San Francisco putting it on the Raiders now. Jets still leading. Here it's 14-0. Miami. Kinney just got it away, and it's intercepted. Coming back with it is Glenn Blackwood. Blackwood just activated for the day. Returns it down to the 22-yard line. Blackwood's 19th career interception. He had held out. Flag is down. I think it came after the interception.
Blackwood, as you were beginning to say, Jay, held out most of this preseason. Just reported to camp this week. Shula wasn't sure if he would use him or not, but he said, I need him in there because he's a very intelligent player. He certainly showed it that time. Putting himself in excellent position to pick that ball off and making a nice catch.
An illegal block in the back, I think, is going to be the call from referee Tom Dooley. There's John Makovic.
51 and 58 of the defense. First down.
All right, you can't see Blackwood, but he makes a sliding catch in there, protects the ball as he hits the ground. The ball does not come up. Defensive backs aren't supposed to be great runners, but he makes an excellent return here. Watch the hit on Sinline on Kenny, which makes him throw that ball before he wanted to.
The infraction was against Beaucamper, and it puts the Dolphins back at the 34-yard line. But they have the football and lead it 14-0 here in the fourth quarter. Little quick toss out to Davenport. Davenport down the sideline. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line, first down. Albert Lewis made the saving play over there against Davenport, who continues to look very, very good here.
Well, Shula came with Nathan and Bennett early on in the ball game. Now with the score, with the Dolphins up 14 points, they put the big young runners in. Davenport, 235 pounds, won't be brought down with an arm tackle by Blanton there, and Albert Lewis, number 29, the left cornerback, knocks him out of bounds.
And he knocked his shoe right off. He's out of there now, and Lorenzo Hampton is in the backfield with Woody Bennett. First down at the 20. Marino throws it out here to Bennett. Bennett at the 1. 18-yard pickup. Bennett almost banged it in there. Making the play, number 57, Jerry Blanton for Kansas City. Here it is.
It's extraordinary for a young quarterback to recognize defenses so well and get the football to the right person. And Dan Marino does this as well as anyone playing football today, young or old.
See Bennett going back into the huddle as Don Shula looks out. 6 Super Bowl teams. Never lost a Sunday, September game here at the Orange Bowl. First and goal to go from the 2. Nathan, Bennett, and Davenport are all in there. And the handoff going to Davenport.
And bam!
little beautiful island of Bermuda. Went to school at Louisville, and Don Shula says thank you very much.
It's John Mackovic, the KC head coach. They cannot penetrate Miami's end zone.
Wad Gervais, the man that beat out Uwe von Schaman and Eddie Garcia, the rookie, makes it good. 21-0 Miami. Yeah. Rush is out for the rest of the game. Heat cramps.
Okay.
Adam Linger.
Today's game is brought to you by Renault. European technology built in America. Make Renault the one to watch. By Radio Shack, the computer experts. And by Sears, where you'll find great values. There's more for your life at Sears.
Vaughn Gervais kicks it off. And there'll be no return. Jeff Smith says, I'll down it. It'll come out to the 20. After the interception by Glenn Blackwood, it took only 19 seconds for the Dolphins to strike. They lead it 21-0. Davenport checked out by one of the medical people for the Miami Dolphins. They got to be pleased. He looks pleased.
Looking for the camera. You can tell when they've scored.
First down from the 20 for Kansas City. Down now 21-0. Kinney. Out it comes. Ethan Horton gets out to the 24-yard line. Let's check things out with an update from NFL 85, Bob Costas.
Second and 6.
All right, thank you, Bob. And along with Reggie Rucker, Jay Randolph here in the Orange Bowl, 21-0. Kinney on second down. In trouble, goes down at the 24-yard line. It's a tough situation, Reggie. Losing Clayton, then behind 21-0. Your game plan kind of has to go by the boards. It has just not been a day for Kansas City to get unraveled.
Okay, certainly Carlos Carson is the man that really threatens the defense deep, and they don't have him now. But the Miami Dolphins cornerbacks are playing excellent defense. They are preventing the wide receivers from getting downfield quickly.
Miami goes into the prevent defense. Out of the shotgun, Kinney. Over the middle, and intercepted. Well, incomplete. I thought it was intercepted for a moment. The ball thrown to Ethan Horton, and it looked like Mark Brown had come up with it, but the ball just slipped away. Brown made a tremendous effort, the third-year man from Purdue.
Look at the coverage now of the linebackers around the 35-yard line. You see how they converge on the ball? They had every man in a red shirt covered.
Saw him come up with that ball, and it just slipped out. Arnold punting. Kozlowski is deep. Kozlowski at the 42, at the 45, at the 50, outside, and almost broke it for a score. He got it down to the 42-yard line. 11:56 to play in this game, and the Dolphins lead at 21-0. Can we find out when the last time Kansas City was shut out? Thank you. Because I think they're about to be shut out. What is it, Super Bowl 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Yeah. What? 21-0. Yeah.
How many turnovers for KC?
Next Sunday, our coverage of the NFL will continue with a doubleheader. Start the day off at 12:30 with NFL 85, Bob Costas and all the gang. Some of you will see the Raiders take on the Patriots. Second half of our doubleheader, most of you see Dan Marino and the Dolphins battle the Denver Broncos. Check your local listings. Tony Nathan to the outside. Nathan all the way down to the 20-yard line. Albert Lewis ran him out of bounds. 22-yard pickup.
That's the same play that Nathan scored on the Colts a week ago. Just pure straight ahead blocking up front. Foster, excellent block outside. Now watch Nathan get outside on the perimeter. Takes Albert Lewis to track him down.
Good job by Giesler, number 79 also. Nathan coming out. So the fine return by Kozlowski, and then this big play by Nathan, and the Dolphins are knocking on the door once more. They lead at 21-0. Jim Jensen, number 11, in the game. That's him coming in motion. And the handoff goes to Davenport. Oh, Davenport having a fine game here. Picks up 12. Calvin Daniels, number 50, on the tackle. Big story in this game, the young man from Louisville.
Watch the blocking once again on the left side. Foster, excellent block. Giesler, number 79, out front. And that's Davenport, 235 pounds, knocking into people, running over people. The Dolphins were in search of a running game. I think they may have found some people that might make it go.
First down, goal to go, 8-yard line. Marino to the tight end, and it's complete at the 4-yard line. They're going to call it dead at the 4 to Bruce Hardy. For a moment, it looked like Hardy had it. It looked like he had lost it to one of the Chiefs, but then he came up with it.
Okay, here's Marino throwing the ball out to Hardy. He stops the ball. There's Calvin Daniels. Looks like he has it.
That's right.
And we don't see it now. And it looks like Hardy has it.
He does.
Who really has
it? Now you see it, now you don't.
Like, who's on first?
Might have been tipped there at the start. John Makovic. That face reflects his problems today. 2nd and goal to go. Davenport, touchdown Miami. Well, he impressed Don Shula in a May minicamp. Had a 4-year career at Louisville, playing fullback until the end of his sophomore season when he was shifted to tailback.
And just power running through people, running over people. Davenport is a happy young man. 2nd touchdown today.
Not too bad with the slam either.
That's right.
Claude Reveiz, the rookie from Tennessee, kicks the point. 10 minutes to play in the game. 28-0 Miami. They may have found themselves a runner here today, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, if a team ever wilted out there and just lost its strength, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think we need to mention that. How long was Davenport? 4? How many yards? 4 yards? No.
There's nothing on that sheet that can help you now, partner.
That's right. Shula has watched his team score 28 second-half points, and John Makovic has watched his team wilt in the heat and under the pressure, and that man has scored 2 touchdowns here in the second half. The kickoff by Reveiz. Jeff Smith downs it, and Kansas City will start from the 20-yard line.
One of the things, Jay, I don't like about playing on Thursday and having a big victory like the Chiefs had against the Raiders, it gives you 10 days to read about how good you are, and you start to believe it.
The pennant races are something else, and you remember you'll see the League Championship Series here on NBC and key games next week. Cleveland, California now, and is now 9-9 in the ninth. Kinney is 11 of 23, 102 yards, 1 interception. Over the middle, he throws complete to the tight end, Walt Arnold, and Arnold gets across the 25-yard line, a pickup of about 7. Bill Barnett is now in at the nose spot, or actually he's in at right end. We've got Little playing the nose, 99, and Barnett 70 in there. Barnett, 6-year man from Nebraska. Mac Moore's in the game for the Dolphins on defense now, number 91 at left end. So Don Shula getting some of his second liners in there as you get a good look at Bill Kinney, once a Miami draft choice. Horton rambling up the sidelines, is bumped out of bounds as he got to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 15 and a first down as Bud Brown bumped him out.
We talked about at the beginning of the show, Jay, how when you play against the Raiders and you know that they're playing man-to-man coverage, it gives the receivers a big advantage. But when you play against the Dolphins and you come out of the huddle, they're changing their zones, they're changing their coverages. The receivers just don't have that advantage that they have when you play against man-to-man. And I think that has affected the Chiefs today, along with the absence of Carlos Carson.
28-0, 9:16 to play. Kinney going long and incomplete. He was intending it for Stephon Page. The last time that the Chiefs were shut out was 45-0 in Week 10 against Seattle last year in November. And the last time Miami shut anybody out was November 20th of '83 when they beat the Colts 37-0.
Well, they were very impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs coming into this ball game, and they worked very hard on shutting down this passing attack. And looking at Kenny's statistics, I think they've done that.
On second down, penalty markers go down. Looked like Bill Barnett jumped off. A scoreless first half. 28 points for Miami in the second half.
Second down.
The Dolphins have worked very, very hard to improve this defense, which, quite frankly, I felt in the Super Bowl, Jay, really allowed the ball game to get away from the Dolphin offense. I mean, San Francisco did pretty much what they wanted to, and with holdouts and late reportings, we'll get to that after the play.
Out it comes to Ethan Horton. Horton out of bounds as he got down to the 47-yard line, picked up the first down. Mark Brown knocked him out, number 51, a pickup of 12.
To finish that thought, Jay, with all of the holdouts and all of the people reporting late and the injuries to Baumhauer and Bowser, quite frankly, I am shocked to see the Miami Dolphins defense play as effectively as they have today against one of the premier offenses in the league.
Well, we mentioned again how badly the Chiefs have missed Carlos Carson, and I do think they seem to wilt more in this heat than the Dolphins today. And Barnett was over on the wrong side when they snapped the ball. Next week, the Dolphins will play the Broncos, I should say, at Mile High Stadium. And the Chiefs play Seattle.
Number 70 defense, first down.
That game next Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium at 12 noon. There are tickets available. John Makovic and his coaching staff will have to go back and gather this Kansas City club together. They were the highest scoring team in the NFL coming into today's game with 83 points. They had won 5 in a row going back to 3 last season and the 2 this year. Betters, Beaucamper, and Charles are all in there now for the Dolphins. Kinney over the middle, completes it to E.J. Jones. Jones, who was picked up and placed on the roster on Tuesday, picking up 7. Mark Brown 51, Jay Brophy 53. Kansas City's got a tough schedule. We're talking about them playing Seattle next week. And
just looking at the next few weeks, they've got the Seahawks next week, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Rams, and Denver. My.
Dolphins at Denver and then have Pittsburgh here before meeting the Jets. Kinney over the middle, intercepted. Coming back with it is Jay Brophy. Brophy going down the far side, still on his feet. Oh, what an effort by Jay Brophy. Jay, who of course was an All-American at the University of Miami. 40-yard return. He was the captain his senior year of the 83 National Championship team. Voted the Dolphin Rookie of the Year last year, and he brings this crowd to their feet.
And you might ask yourself, how can a club that looked so good a week or so ago look so bad right now? And Bill Kinney is just being pressured. He's frustrated. He's trying to get it all in one play. Brophy has played a marvelous football game. Not a bad runner either.
He did all right. They're on their feet here in the Orange Bowl. A big crowd, 43 yards on the return.
One of the original killer bees that lost his starting job this year.
And that might have been his first career interception. I'm going to look it up. Don Strock now at quarterback, hands it off to Tony Nathan. Stop made by Bob Ham, number 90.
JF played down here for so many years and felt very good in the first quarter and the second quarter, but in the third and fourth quarter, my body began to wear down. I got tired. I needed water. I got waterlogged. I just couldn't perform, and I can assure you that's what has happened to the Kansas City Chiefs, along with an outstanding performance by the Dolphins.
Nathan, 54 yards on 10 carries. Lorenzo Hampton carries down to about the 23-yard line. Ken Jolly, number 52, upending him. For Jay Brophy a moment ago, that was his first career interception. It'll be one he'll remember for a long time. And he made that big play defensively earlier that seemed to ignite his club. I talked about the fact that fellows like Brophy and Sowell, they can spark a team. The Jets leading Green Bay now 24-3. They're in the fourth quarter at Milwaukee. There's Brophy. You listening to music? 24 out of 35 for Marino. 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Ron Davenport, number 30. They're going to call on Claude Reves. The rookie, Pete Koch, made the tackle, so Reves will get a chance. We talked so much about Nick Lowry. He did have a chance to kick a field goal, 2 chances in the first half. One time they faked and threw a pass off of it. The other time it was a 55-yarder. This will be a 37-yard attempt by Claude Reves. He's 6 of 7 from Sunset High School right here in Miami. And good, right down the middle.
Reves
made 71 of 95 field goals at Tennessee.
He has a brother at Tennessee. He has another brother at Carson Newman.
That's
a week
right.
ago, they kicked 9 field goals in the family. They asked Reves, well, what did your mother think about it? And he said, of course, she got a big kick out of it.
His brother Carlos kicks at Tennessee for Johnny Majors, as you mentioned. The other brother, Lewis, is at Carson Newman. Young man from Bogota, Colombia.
He holds the Florida State field goal record of 60 yards. He's also kicked a 60-yarder in the NCAA competition, which makes him tied for first. So he has been a fine performer, whatever level he has played.
I'm reminded that they're also proud of his brother Carlos, who became an American citizen last week.
That always helps.
Yes, sir. Well, it's 31-0. All 31 points in the second half. Reves ready to kick it off. Down at the 10. Leading the way, the rookie George Little. All Big Ten at Iowa. Doug Betters, 75, also there.
You might ask, what can a professional team do at this point? You're 31 points behind. There's 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game. Well, professional offenses like to really find out if this defense is as good as it's played today. You want to try some things to at least score, Jay, because quite frankly, the Chiefs have been dismantled in every segment of their offense, and Bill Kenny has had such a tough time. He must be really wondering about things right now.
3 sacks for Miami today. Ethan Horton coming out to the 13-yard line.
I might further add that if I were Makovic, and I'm 2-1 at this point in the season, this game's history. It's out the window. I might get Bill Kenny out of the ball game because you see so many senseless injuries that can ruin a season at this point in time.
You saw one last Sunday in St. Louis.
That's right. Oh, and I'll get back to that in a moment.
27-10 in the fourth quarter. The defending champions leading the Raiders. 3rd down and 12 out of the shotgun. Bill Kenny throwing, and a great catch up at the 35-yard line by Henry Marshall. First down.
And Kenny is down and getting up very slowly.
Yes, he is. He's up now, but he took a shot back there from Mike Charles, I believe, that came in. Let's take a look at it.
You're talking about a season being on the hook now with Kenny still in the ball game. Number 89, Henry Marshall, runs the end pattern. Good concentration as he holds on to the football. But right now, Bill Kenny is getting up very slowly. Here's another look at it. Watch the hit. There's Mike Charles, all 285 pounds of him, puts a Rydell right in the throat of Bill Kenny.
The sights and sounds of the NFL being captured for you brilliantly here this afternoon by our coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson, who is directing this game. That's Ethan Horton up the far sideline for 12. Steve Dan's producing today's game, and the entire crew has done a great job in a tough day for some of these guys at the handheld cameras and all the camera people and all the technicians for that matter in this heat.
It's been tough up here for you and I. How much weight have you lost?
Well, it won't hurt me. Whatever I've lost, it's a good deal. 3.5 to play, 31-0. Kenny, a nice pass to the sideline, breaking away. That's Stephon Page. Page goes all the way down to the 16-yard line. First down, Kansas City.
I want to mention something right here, Jay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but each pass that Bill Kenny throws now is wobbling. Now, I know last year he went out with a broken thumb. I'm wondering if he didn't re-injure that thumb. Watch this pass. This is not a typical Bill Kenny pass. And it further suggests that they should get him out of the football game because they can't win this game at this point.
I want you to relate that story and the situation in St. Louis in just a moment last Sunday.
Okay.
1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. And a timeout is called.
Let's do it now. I've on occasion espoused that the National Football League should, in instances like this, agreement between both teams, when there's no conceivable ability to win, to get out of the ball game, usually maybe with a minute left or 58 seconds left, because so many players are.
Blackledge, of course, great star from Penn State, #1 draft choice. Makovic talking it over with Kenny, and let's talk a little baseball with you. The pennant races are something else. Pittsburgh beat the Mets. The Cardinals came from behind to take Montreal. The Redbirds of Whitey Herzog lead the National League East by 3. Now Milwaukee beat Toronto, so the Yankees with their victory over Baltimore pick up a game, but the Yankees have got a long way to go. Minnesota beat Kansas City. California and Cleveland are still 9-9. They're in extra innings, but California, of course, will have a chance to do some damage to Kansas City, and we're going to be bringing you the League Championship Series on NBC, where baseball is covered as fine as you can cover it. And we hope you'll stay with us, of course, next weekend when we will be showing you the Cardinals and the Mets. Check your local listings next Saturday afternoon.
One of our heroes today, Jay Brophy, and
oh boy,
looking at what they're doing, they're just massaging his calves because of the humidity. That's the first place that cramping begins.
Yes, Bob Rush is out of the game, we are told, with some heat cramps. The fine center of the Chiefs. San Francisco leading 27-10. 31-0 here, Miami. Kenny going for the long bomb, and he can't get it there. Page had a step on Paul Langford, but the pass was overthrown. The clock stopped with 2:29 left to play. Don Shula, his NFL record will go to 244, 95 and 6 with a win here today.
The best in the business. When Bill Kenny was here 7 years ago, was cut by the Dolphins, he said, hey, I have no bitterness because, quite frankly, at the time, I was a lousy quarterback.
In fact, he tells the story in practice. He threw a pass that hit assistant coach Bill Arnsparger in the ear, and he was bleeding.
And he knew he was gone at that point.
Over the middle to Jones. Jones is down to the 7-yard line. E.J. Jones put on the roster this week. Judson, number 49, making the tackle. And we're going to get the 2-minute warning before we get another play away. The Chiefs have 3 timeouts remaining. The Dolphins 1. And the Jets score now 24-3 in the 4th quarter. and the 2-minute warning given here at the Orange Bowl. So a timeout. 31-0 Miami. Give me the briefcase, will you? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. We're going to be all right. I don't know if my bag will ever make it, but I don't worry about that.
I think so.
Well, a lot of people have left early, too. I don't know whether that helps or hurts. Reggie Rucker and Jay Randolph with you as we had a scoreless first half. That's the kind of game we thought it would be, even, although we thought there'd be a lot of points put on the board. The points were put on the board by the Dolphins here in the second half, 31-0.
And it appeared that the play that started on and got the ball going in the goalward direction for the Miami Dolphins was the reverse play, a play that you don't see hardly ever in the National Football League, on the kickoff at that.
I got to ask you this. If Makovic doesn't call that fake field goal, lets Lowry kick it, and the Chiefs take the lead, psychologically, that might have been a big lift to this club.
I think you're right, and I also believe that coming out with some points rather than no points would have boded well for the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half.
Easy to second guess up here, though.
Sure is. That's what we get paid for.
3rd down and 1. E.J. Jones bangs in for the first down, and it'll be 1st and goal to go. Jones has seen a good deal of playing time this afternoon and looked good. Kinney over the middle, incomplete. Trying to get it to Jones.
Kinney is really taking some shots that he doesn't have to take right now.
He's one of the really fine young men in the game. I had the privilege of playing golf tournament with him this summer over in Kansas City at Milburn Country Club. Big cancer fund that we have there every year, and he's a splendid young man.
Makovic has the Kansas City Chiefs very involved in the Kansas City community.
Yes, they are. Handoff going to Jones, comes up short. Chiefs have 3 timeouts remaining. Tackle made by George Little, the nose man, number 99.
There are times, Jay, when you lose this badly, a head coach will sometimes take all of the film and say, hey, throw it away. I don't want my team to see
Get it out of here.
Yeah, we won't learn anything from watching these films, because this is not the same football team that we saw on Thursday night. And the Kansas City Chiefs are a better football team than they've shown us here today.
Well, they'll have a chance to show it next Sunday at noon against Seattle at Arrowhead, and tickets still remain for that one. 3rd down, goal to go. A lot of time. Kinney puts it up, and it hits the goalpost. Henry Marshall was back there along the end line, and I guess he was trying to kind of loft it in there and let Marshall jump up and get it.
Oh, he better be Wilt Chamberlain if he's going to jump that high. But this is just not the Bill Kinney that we all know. The great passer that has just been phenomenal the first 2 games of the season. The ball is getting away from him. Sometimes it's not spiraling. I wonder.
Got to credit the Dolphins with quite a performance here before this big crowd. They were facing the highest scoring team in the NFL, and to this point they've shut them out. 4th down and goal. Marino looking out with Giesler at the scene. Incomplete. Intended for Walt Arnold. 41 seconds remaining, and the Dolphins will get the football, and that'll do it.
And the Kansas City Chiefs, Jay, have found the Miami Dolphins end zone about as impossible to get into as a Bruce Springsteen concert.
Long afternoon for John Mackovic, but what an excellent job he's done. He's building a real solid club. They had a tough day today, but they will gather themselves, I'm sure. Marino, of course, out of the game, as we told you. Strock in there on the last series. Don Strock, who's probably the finest backup quarterback in the game. And the handoff going in there to a man who's had himself a dandy day, Mr. Davenport. Ron Davenport, the rookie from Louisville, carried it out for a couple.
Don Strock has been called the Goose Gossage of the NFL.
Not a bad way to put it. Reggie, great being with you here this afternoon. A big win for the Dolphins, and they'll play the Broncos at Mile High Stadium at 4 Eastern time. And the Chiefs go against Seattle at Arrowhead at noon, Kansas City time next week. Mackovic waves to Shula. They exchange greetings. 31-0. The Dolphins defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. Very impressive indeed. Back with more in a moment. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Yep. Thank you, guys. Good job.
Let's work with you guys.
Thanks, everybody. See my cover? I'm not going. Would I go? I wouldn't. Yes, sir. What are we doing?
That'll be our
Yes, sir. 30 seconds. Reggie, one
Yes.
quick comment from you.
Okay.
Happiness reigns for the Dolphins. 31-0. They shut out the Chiefs.
Tremendous effort by Shula and his staff in getting this Dolphin team ready to play football against, coming into this contest, what was a hot Kansas City Chiefs team.
Well, it was a very hot Kansas City Chief team, but they got turned off today by the Heat and the Dolphins. Our final score, 31-0. Now, stay tuned for scores and highlights on NFL 85 after these commercial messages. Thank you. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you.